Actually, this is for real. This is our country. This is our lives. This is for our family. This is for our future family members. So that's probably the biggest thing about being a Tea Party candidate. But also, more importantly, is also what we've been saying all spring. When we were dealing with the health care and a lot of the other bills that are going on both in our state houses, both in Maryland and Virginia, because I'm from Maryland, but they're not listening to us. So, more importantly, we need to coalesce around the candidates that are true Tea Party representatives. But one of the things is the Tea Party doesn't endorse candidates. I'm a candidate myself, but I'm not looking to the Tea Party to endorse me. I got my start by speaking at one of the first Tea Parties. I spoke in D.C. on April 15th of last year. Thank you, Joanne. So, but me starting as getting my start from there, I'm not looking back to the Tea Party to say, hey, come endorse me. That's not what the Tea Party is about. The Tea Party is basically a vehicle for the candidates to come and speak to you in one place and understand that in most cases we are of like mind because we are the people. But as incumbents wanting to declare that they're Tea Party candidates, we need to go back and look at the records. Some cases, on some of the votes and some of the decisions, you want to sit there and say, well, you know, what happened? Did you fall and hit your head before you went and voted? Hey. You know, and it's like, okay, understand, if you want to reform and become a representative of us, understand, we're going to be looking at you with a very close eye. Because a true politician, and we all know these people, they'll tell us what we want to hear just to get our vote. And then they get to the State House, they get down to the Capitol in D.C., and all of a sudden they have a case of amnesia. And they expect our memory to be real short until it comes time to vote again, and the next thing you know, they're standing up in front of groups like this here and saying, I'm with you, until I get back down to that nice wooden desk back down at the State House or over in D.C. And then all of a sudden they get around all their buddies, and next thing you know, all the deals start. All the money starts moving around. So as a incumbent, if you want to stand up in front of a group like this, you need to understand there's a responsibility. There's a responsibility that these people are going to hold you true to your word. Because if not, that next election, they're going to show you another word. You're out. So, you know, looking forward, this is not just another vehicle just to come through and say, okay, I'm a Tea Party candidate, I'd like to get your vote, thank you very much, and then go on about your own way. Oh, they'll forget about it. That's our responsibility as Tea Party people, to hold their feet to the fire, to come back and in some cases make some of these simple-headed decisions, make them famous for it. They say something crazy, and this is not, I mean, this is off track a little bit. This is not just for candidates. I heard a rumor today, I don't know if it's true, but that the NRA endorsed Harry Reid.
Yeah, they will. They're going to endorse Harry Reid.
Okay, they're going to endorse Harry Reid. So you know what? This is not just for politicians. These are for these organizations that we belong to that hold the Constitution and parts of our Constitution that we hold dear to our heart. We need to start holding their feet to the fire.
There you go.
So, you know, this is not just a message for anybody that's running for office or anybody that's looking to run for office. But to be honest, I'd love to see people from this group here stand up and start running for local offices. Real quick, how many people, this is your first time ever being to an event like this? Raise your hand, please. Wow. You know what? And other people have heard me ask that in other meetings. Well, first, let's give a round of applause for the people that just showed up this for the first time. Thank you very much for coming. I mean, this is refreshing because it's also nice to know that other people care about their country so much that they're willing to show on their day off on a holiday to say, I'm willing to stand up and be counted and I care. So, not only the thing is of holding the people in government to their feet to the fire, also some of these organizations that supposedly are representing us in different facets of the Constitution. We need to also start holding them to the same level, because in some cases they come back to us and ask us for our money to support them in their efforts when they go down and lobby in DC. I mean, right now I'm kind of conflicted. Harry Reid, come on, please. So
it's worse than that.
Yeah, but it's not just the NRA. It's other organizations on top of that. That's correct. So looking forward, and then the other thing that's most importantly is when we go away from here, everyone asks, well, what can we do? Everyone here has a friend that you know that it's of like mind that couldn't be here. Let them know what happens at these events and how these events are growing. And then the other thing on top of that, with politicians and people that are running for office, when a politician or a candidate comes up in the stands here, they see potential voters. Me, I'm from Maryland. Nobody here can vote for me. I wish you could. But at the same time, I know a lot of you know people in Maryland. And how many times have people here have heard someone say, wow, you all have great representation over in Virginia. I wish we had that in Maryland. Well, when you hear that, start saying, well, you know what? We had someone come speak to us from Maryland and say, you need to get in touch with that person. If they're not in my district, that's fine. I'll point them to the person that is. Because my numbers right now, I was up until about 4 o'clock this morning crunching numbers to figure out strategies for my campaign. Republicans are outnumbered 2-to-1 in my district alone. So, and then my opponents right now on the other side are outraising me 10-to-1. So looking at that, I have an uphill battle. But at the same time, when you look back in history, when George Washington went across the Delaware River, he went against insurmountable odds. But when you're true to what you're doing, things can turn to your way. So it's not one of those things where it's like, I don't want to get involved because I can't win. If that was the case, we'd still be paying T-tax. So looking forward, let's be responsible, not only as people. It's great that you're here, that you're here, so I'm preaching to the choir. But the thing what we need to do, and this is what they've done on the left side, is they've gotten real good at getting the message out. And a lot of you all have heard me, the power of 2. You going away from here, I want everyone here to promise me that you're going to go and speak to 2 people that weren't here, and get them the promise that they will speak to 2 people. By the time you get to the 6th time that that's happened, you will have basically reached 3 million people. So it's not where I'm going to go up to someone and say, I need you to talk to 100 people. That's kind of hard for a lot of people to do, but at least everyone knows 2 people that are of like mind to get the word out. But I mean, let's basically start holding our representatives responsible. They want to sit there and say they're a Tea Party candidate? Ask them one simple question. Why do you think you're a Tea Party candidate? Can you explain to me what makes you feel that you're a Tea Party candidate? Don't overlay anything in that discussion. Let them tell you. Don't direct them. Just ask why. And then to see where they come from. And then from there, when they've established their platform and why they think they're a Tea Party candidate, then continue the discussion. If you don't know how, at least you have some information that you can go to someone else and say, this candidate said that they feel they're a Tea Party candidate for this reason. And then that person might have the skills or the information and the knowledge to challenge that candidate. And it's not so much as to beat them up, but let's keep everybody honest. Because, you know, this is not the magic bullet to get someone in office. As much as I'd like to think so, and a lot of candidates do, don't let them pull the trigger on that gun if they're not the right person to hold it. So, thank you very much, and thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Eric. Since we have video cameras, we are running one of our own so that we will have the whole story regardless.